So are the markets going to crash? Well, we're going to answer that in today's video. What's up, my friends? My name's Tony Pollock. I've been a full-time trader for over 5 years, and I make these videos every single Monday so that you can be aware of the levels to pay attention to, what the markets are doing, so that you can make trading a little bit easier. Because once you understand this in price action, trading becomes so much easier. You'll be able to see that momentum, figure out which side to be on, and then simply apply whatever strategies you're using to make easier money in the markets. Make sure and subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. And by the way, check out the links down below for free online trading courses, completely free, hours and hours and hours worth for day trading, swing trading, and everything else in between. Let's dive into these charts. So this is on SPY, the S&P 500 here. This is the main instrument that I trade. And I wanted to walk you through some levels that I am seeing. So let's start actually out on a weekly chart. This higher low here on a weekly chart was extremely important for the bulls to hold, and I would argue that they did not do a great job doing it. Yes, did we close about a penny above it? Yes, but we really should not have even been below it. These are the early warning signs that price action is going to give you before the moves happen, my friends, if you just know what to look for. We have not taken out a higher low in over, 2 years? And so the bulls have been very strong, as they should. In a bull market, we should be making higher highs and higher lows, and that process should continue. Once we fail to hold higher lows, like we just did last week, that is your first warning sign that something is up. Be careful on this dip. It can continue to drop. We're going to talk about that scenario here in just a second. And if the bounces do come, it's most likely now shifting momentum to where these bears are going to step in harder and push us back down. Let's zoom in here onto a daily chart and let's actually pay attention to the levels that I look at. So first things first, I look at support and resistances, technical analysis. We've got a very strong support here on SPY sitting right around 564, 565. Our big resistance level is going to be 575 and then again up here around 585 for this week. So if I were to draw a box here for the bears to step into, I'd be looking at something like this. This would be my bear area. And really, we want to be very cautious if you're a bull, if the markets are getting up into this area. And if the bulls are going to have any type of chance, they're going to have to close strongly up above, I would say 590 would be the top side of this box. If we can get daily closures up above 590, that does open the door to dips being bought now and for it to continue up to that all-time high. So that is your bull scenario. Bulls are really going to have to start getting some daily closures up above 590. Until then, expect rollovers. Expect bears to step in and anywhere in this box and to try to push us back lower because the sentiment has shifted. Whenever we are in a bull trend sentiment, dips get bought up, right? We have large bull moves and short pullbacks, and then they get bought up hard. The sentiment has now shifted, if I could talk, to where the bear moves come in. We have short bull moves and then another big bear move. And so are we getting ready for this type of move this week? That's what I'm expecting. So I would expect us to possibly head a little bit lower. We'll talk about that scenario here in a second. But I would expect us to have a short-term bounce this week and then most likely be looking for a rotation over towards the end of this week, if not the weeks to follow. So looking for that to happen is the high probability at this point. How high up will it go? Well, that's where it comes into some options levels. So we have monster amounts of options sitting at 575. That's going to be a very, very important level. If the bulls can get it up above 575, this thing should run pretty hard. The next spot that I'm looking at is 585. That is a monster strike level as well for a lot of calls that expire this Friday. It also matches up perfectly with some strong resistances and the weekly EMAs. So we've got our weekly EMAs. Those are actually pushing a little bit higher, around 589. I think those will get drugged down a little bit more throughout the next few days. So keep an eye out for 585. That's going to be a very, very big level for these bears to step in. Look for that to be a big roadblock, so to say, for the bulls and for us to push back lower. Now, if we just fall off the cliff right at the start of the week, because again, the bears are very strong, then these are the levels I'm looking at. 565, monster amount of puts there. So that should be our low for the week. If 565 does not hold, 555 has an 80% chance of holding. So this thing will come back down to 555. It's going to scare everybody. And then I believe we finally do get that little reprieve bounce. and then it's for sure looking like we're getting ready to do something like that. So either way, I'm looking at a bounce to come in. It doesn't have to. We could cut through all of this and the whole crash could begin right now, but the early warning sign of a crash coming has been triggered in my book. The fact that we are taking out higher lows, the sentiment is shifting. The bulls had 15 opportunities to bounce over the past few weeks, and the bears pushed through all of them. The momentum is to the bear side, and you've got to understand this momentum. If you can't see the momentum clearly, you're always going to be going long, and then it's just going to fall off. And then you're always going to be going short right in time for it to bounce. The momentum in price action is what's going to show you what's about to happen before it happens if you simply know what to look for. The markets speak their own little language, and most people miss it because they're just like hammers. EMAs, like that's all they're looking at. Oh, the EMA's crossed. Yeah, cool. The EMA's crossed after the market's already dropped 10%. How can you get in before the market's dropped 10%? That's the key. That's what's going to separate successful traders from everyone else. When I learned this is when my profits exploded because I was done being late to the party, right? My community here, Real Life Trading, we started buying puts up through here and rode those things down and had a really good couple weeks. Now, the couple weeks before that, we got beat up because of the chop. Every time it looked bullish, it fell back down. Every time it looked bearish, it fell back, it bounced back up. That's trading. But the difference is that we lost small, and then won huge. One trade undid a month worth of losses. That's what trading is, my friends. Don't get sugarcoated like professional traders never lose. We lose all the time. The difference is I lose $100. Everyone else loses $5,000. By the time I'm done losing 5 trades, I'm ready to make that back up in 1 or 2 trades, while everyone else is so deep in the hole that they've lost half their trading account, and then they get even more desperate. They double down and lose even more. If you want to check out these courses here and learn a little bit more about how to overcome those emotions, how to read price action and understand how to do this, we have a whole list of free courses here. You can check out the QR code on the screen, and you can also check out the links down below. It's the same link to be able to get free courses and start your trading journey as well. If you want to learn this price action, learn how to overcome your emotions, and finally start seeing profits in these markets, because your emotional control is what's going to drive your success. We have a ton of courses for free on emotional control, mindset, and on all the skills needed for you to be able to trade successfully. So check that out. All right, so again, that's your bear scenario here with SPY. Bouncing back down in here to 555 should be the absolute low of the week. Really, I think 565, 563 is going to be a pretty strong area for the bears to get through if they can. I think the bulls hold that, and we most likely get a little bit of a bounce. So the fact that we're gapping right now, we'll see what happens here when these markets open. This is Monday, so if you're watching this later on the week, you'll be able to see what happened. Again, my job is not to predict what's going to happen. My job is to have a game plan if we do this. My job is to have a game plan if we do this. And my job is to have a game plan if we do this. Then I'm never wrong, right? All you have to do is be prepared for the outcomes instead of being like, oh, no, for sure it's going to bounce. We're going to bounce. I'm just going to load it all in. Well, we don't know. Let the markets show you their hand. The markets will tell you through price action down here if they're getting ready to bounce. The markets will also tell you through price action here if it's getting ready to drop even more. So I need to let more price action come in throughout to Monday, Tuesday. I'll have a really good sense of where these markets are looking at going. But I do know that these option levels are a huge benefit to figuring out what's going to hold and what's going to reject. And these are the 2 ones that I'm looking at here, 565 and 555 for this week. Keep an eye out for those levels. Should be a really good bouncing spot off of those option levels. And again, looking at that resistance level up through here, 585, 575 here on SPY, it's going to be a big deal. Again, I am leaning a lot more towards we get a bounce and then look for shorts up in this box area because it's most likely going to try to rotate back down. All right, let's take a look over at Bitcoin real quick. I've gotten a lot of requests to have me do a quick analysis on Bitcoin. Well, in my opinion, Bitcoin has double topped, and we have broken the key level. It's retested that key level strong, and then it got met by bears right away, and it pushed right back down. So where is Bitcoin most likely heading back to? Probably 73,000. That would be the next real buying spot. If these bulls do not hold this area, we will see quite a bit more selling coming through here on Bitcoin. In my opinion, again, we should have never taken out 88,000, and we did very, very strongly, got our retest. This is what I think the markets are getting ready to do. Right, we just took out the level on the markets. We're going to get a bounce, and then it's probably going to start to work its way back down. This is not looking very strong at all. And yeah, I really like this support here on a weekly chart. But again, the double topping on a weekly is not great. We're still sitting inside of the hammer candle here from a couple weeks back. Pressure is building. Bulls have got to hold this. It's not the end of the world for Bitcoin, but it is showing a lot of weakness. And so if I'm looking here and I throw on some trend lines, that probably tells me that if we do bounce, I would say 90,000 is going to be the high for right now, and that's probably going to reject back down. 73 to 68,000 is going to be a very, very important spot. Expect a lot of bulls in this area to see if this will get bought back up and crank higher over the next little bit here whenever we reach that area. But at the moment, bears are definitely in control, not looking very strong. So expect bounces to get rejected. There's a big difference whenever we are in a bull sentiment where dips end up leading to large bull moves. And there's also sentiment wherever the bears are in control where the bounces end up being pretty small that lead to big bear moves. And again, this is what we're shifting into the markets from. So we've been bullish now for years. Now it's starting to shift, and it's going to start pulling back down until the sentiment shifts again. And I believe that sentiment will shift somewhere down here in this box, and we'll start seeing bears getting taken out, and then we'll start getting big bull moves with the small dips to lead into more bull moves again. So that'll do it for this week's video. Again, make sure and subscribe so you can catch next week's video, or I'll walk you through more tickers. If you want to request any, feel free to drop some in the comments here, and I'll put them onto the list to go over for next week. Can't guarantee I'll get to all of them. I like to just pick a couple so that these videos aren't too long, but at the same time, I want to pour more value into you. And by the way, I do one of these videos every single day inside of our All Access Pass. You can check out the links down below inside Real Life Trading Community. So if you enjoyed these videos, if you found value in them, I do a video for our All Access Pass subscribers every single day so that you can be aware of these markets, be aware of the levels, and make easier money, because trading becomes extremely easy when you're able to see the momentum, line yourself up with it, and simply join the big money so that you can make easy money alongside them. Remember, your emotions control your results. If you are struggling to see results and you've been through 50,000 strategies, it's not that, it's your emotions. Check out those courses down below. Learn how to control your emotions, see with clear eyes what the momentum is doing, and start making money again. Love you guys. Have a great week.